Good morning, guys. What is up? JFix Cars here. It is currently 6:24 in the morning, and we are getting ready to go to Cars and Coffee. Whew, I had a brain fart there. So, Cars and Coffee, if you don't know, it's a car show. Down here it happens every Saturday. I'm not sure about everywhere else, but we just show off our cars, drink some coffee, have some fun, maybe get a little bit of inspiration. So I'll definitely take some clips of Cars and Coffee. But today's main purpose of today's video is to tell you guys, or inform you guys, on 5 pros and cons of owning a Ford Focus. So let's get started right into this video. Okay, pro number 1 of this vehicle is the interior. I mean, it's a very simplistic design. I'm sorry for the mess on that floor, but also I just love the Ricardo seats. They're very comfortable and keep you in place so easily, and they're a very nice touch to this performance-based vehicle. I mean, I know it's not the best, but it still is something that I absolutely love about this vehicle, are the Ricardo seats. Number 2 pro for this vehicle is its tuning base. There are so many people that tune for this vehicle specifically. So if you want to get a little bit more power out of your vehicle, so you can go to the drive-thru a lot faster than everyone else. I mean, currently I'm kind of a foodie, not gonna lie, but that's beside the point. But if you want to beat everyone else to that drive-thru lane, you always want to tune, and this car has a ton of people just lining up tunes for it, and it's a great modification base. So there are a lot of options when it comes to modifying, and I would just overall recommend, if you get this car, get a tune for it. It definitely unleashes power that you did not know this car had. Number 3 of the pro list. It is a very, very smooth drive. Like, I know a lot of cars, there is a wide base for suspension, but I also know that not a lot of cars have good stock suspension. This car has great stock suspension, which actually surprises me. And it's a very smooth, comfortable drive, like around curves or just going straight ahead, racing with your buddies. It's a very comfortable feel on the track and off the track as a daily driver and as a just fun overall track car. Sorry guys, had to take a small break. Went to Cars and Coffee, had a great time there. So many great cars. I'm currently in my house and I'm gonna finish that list for you right now. But I will also attach some clips from that Cars and Coffee this morning, because it was an amazing turnaround for every person and every car there. And okay, so I think we're on 4. Number 4 of positives of owning a Ford Focus. Sorry, brain fart. Another positive on owning a Ford Focus is the reliability of it. Now, lots of people will argue this point, but if you keep the Ford Focus well maintained and don't push it past its limits on what it's supposed to do, that means like not going over the top without adjusting some of the internals. Like, you don't want to put a bigger turbo inside of it unless you get better internals like forged pistons or even oversized bore. But overall, the car is actually really reliable, and that brings me to point number 5. Point number 5 is going to be the easiness, I'm gonna say easiness, of being able to actually learn manual. Like, if you have never driven manual before, a Ford Focus ST, I strongly recommend. It is a very forgiving clutch. Now, granted, is it possible to stall out? Yes it is. But another nice feature that I did like when I first started driving manual
was the auto stop feature. So whenever you're on a hill, if you've never driven manual before, you'll know you'll slide backwards. With a Ford Focus with that engaged, it will stop you from rolling backwards until you finally start moving forwards. Once you start moving forwards, the auto stop will turn off and you'll be able to get up and go. It's a great feature added to the car. It's great for brand new manual drivers, and I strongly recommend it. Now, time to start on the dislikes of the Ford Focus. Now, like I said on number 4, the reliability of it, it also is a downside. If you do not know how to wrench on cars, or if you're brand new to starting to wrench on cars, this car might be a little bit too advanced for you. Just because when problems do go wrong, you have to fix them exactly right. Which I know when I first started working on my Ford Focus, it was not hard, not easy. I learned a bunch of stuff, but also it takes a lot of research and to make sure you are doing the job correctly. Number 2 is there are not a lot of videos out there on the Ford Focus on how to do specific stuff. Now, of course, you got videos from Edge Autosports and a few other YouTube creators here and there, but not a lot of them go in depth on how they did certain things like engine removal, transmission removal, or any aftermarket modifications. They didn't go too far in depth on the process, the torque specs, or any of that, which is kind of a pain in the rear end when it comes to learning more about cars. Number 3 is going to have to be the fact that it has a very not sporty body style. That body style, it's a hatchback. I mean, you can only get so sporty with it, and it's not going to grab all the girls that you want to pull up on the side of the road to try to pick up. That's not going to work. Now, granted, you can make it sound good. Probably won't turn too many female heads around, but hey, if you're a female driving the Focus ST, it definitely will turn some heads for some males, especially car enthusiast males. So that brings me to point number 4. Point number 4 is the price of a lot of parts. So lots of stuff is going to end up breaking on that Ford Focus. They don't have the most durable parts. Now, with that being said, there are aftermarket modifications that you can put on to increase the longevity of certain items on your vehicle, like a clutch or shift bushings, lower control arms, etc., etc. But the price overall to fix all of those things, it is quite insane. Prime example, a new headlight. Say something happened to your headlights, your ex smashed it in. That headlight, if it is a factory headlight, that's going to run you $1,600. Now, I don't know about you, but a headlight, $1,600, that seems a little bit excessive, but maybe it's just me. That brings me to point number 5. Point number 5 of a con of the Ford Focus. Personally, this is just a pet peeve of mine. It doesn't have to be a pet peeve of yours, but this is something that just bothers me. It tells you when to shift. Now, for new drivers learning manual, this is a great feature to teach you when to properly shift to get the most fuel efficiency. But if you're like me, a little bit more advanced within the manual community, you will find yourself a little bit more annoyed by those small little things, like your car telling you, hey, you need to shift now, you need to shift now. Like, sometimes you don't need to shift right then, and sometimes you want to push it even farther because higher RPMs means faster power, faster delivery, because your engine is building up faster. Now, personally, that's a downside to me because right on the bottom left-hand side of the HUD, it will show you, hey, shift up, shift down, shift up, shift down. It gets a little annoying, but maybe it's just me. Put in the comments below if you agree with me on how that's just a hair annoying.